Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on just one line, Exodus 33.14. It sounds simple, right? My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest.
Deceptively simple.
Yeah. But the promise inside it, this active guidance and this deep rest.
Yeah.
We need to unpack why that was so incredibly vital for the people who first heard it.
That's exactly right. This isn't just, abstract theology we're discussing. It was born from a moment of real crisis.
Right.
So our mission really is to pull apart those two key bits, the presence, the rest, and understand why Moses and the Israelites desperately needed this assurance right then, in that specific moment of fear.
Okay, let's start with the first part then. My presence will go with you. The sources are pretty clear this isn't just like a vague watching over.
No, definitely not.
It's defined as something very personal,
Yeah.
right? Constant company, actual guidance.
Exactly. It's God saying, I myself will be with you.
Yeah.
That's the highest level of commitment possible in this context. It's direct involvement.
And why that direct involvement was so critical, that leads straight into the second piece, doesn't it? The rest.
It does. And rest is one of those words. People might just think, okay, stopping the march, taking a break.
Yeah, like physically resting from the journey.
But the source material, it digs much deeper. The Hebrew word used, minutia. It's richer than just physical rest.
Okay, so if it's not just stopping the walk towards Canaan, what is it? Why the insistence on it being spiritual?
Well, because that's where the real power of the promise lies. Yes, it does include the idea of eventually settling down, finding rest in the promised land. That's part of it. But minutia points more profoundly to spiritual ease. It's about rest from fear, deep worry, rest from the internal struggle and turmoil that was consuming them.
Oh, okay.
It's about finding an inner security, that kind of soul-level peace, even while the external situation is still difficult or uncertain.
And this is where the history, the context becomes so important. You mentioned crisis earlier. This promise wasn't just offered out of the blue.
Not at all. It was a direct, urgent response to Moses' panic. Just before this, you have the huge disaster of the golden calf incident.
Right, the idolatry, a major breach of faith.
A catastrophic one. And God's initial reaction, his judgment, was actually terrifying.
What was that initial judgment?
The threat was to withdraw his personal guiding presence, to say, okay, I'll send an angel ahead of you, but I won't go in your midst because you're stubborn and I might destroy you on the way.
Wow. So basically, you can have the land, but not me.
Precisely. And Moses knew, fundamentally, that wouldn't work. Without God's active personal presence, the whole mission was doomed. The people might not even survive. He pleads with God.
So Exodus 33.14, my presence will go with you. It's not just comfort, it's a complete reversal.
Exactly. It's the revocation of that terrible judgment. It's God saying, okay, despite what happened, I will go with you myself. It signals forgiveness, a renewed commitment.
That changes everything and makes it a powerful message of hope, of reinstatement.
It really does. It establishes that God's active leadership is back on the table, and crucially, that real security, that minutia, that peace, it only comes through his direct presence.
Which is why I suppose this verse still resonates so strongly today.
Absolutely. People turn to it for reassurance, right?
Yeah.
Focusing on that promise of presence, the peace it brings, especially when facing their own big unknowns or fears.
So when we boil it down, this single verse holds so much. That active personal guidance, the cancellation of a really severe consequence,
Right.
and this deep spiritual rest minutia, specifically aimed at countering intense fear.
That's the core of it. Active guidance, revoked judgment, profound rest.
Wow.
And maybe here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Given that this incredible promise was made specifically to counter overwhelming fear and actually reverse a judgment, what does that specific context tell you about the importance, the power maybe of seeking that kind of assurance, that guidance, precisely when you feel most alone, or maybe when you feel like you've really messed things up on your own path?
Something to definitely mull over.
That context really shows the depth of the hope offered here.